Today on the Bread Box, we're going to look at the AMIGA cart for the Commodore Vic-20. This was found in one of the boxes in this huge Vic-20 unboxing video I did a couple weeks ago. This is a pretty awesome cartridge, and I'll show you why in this video. The great thing about the AMIGA cart, it has hundreds of games and utilities, applications all on this one cartridge, but also it's a RAM expansion cartridge all in one. It was made by Denial Computer and released about 2007. What makes this cartridge so great? It has every single cartridge ever made for the Commodore Vic-20 all on one cartridge. And it has 50 games from tape and disc as well for the Vic-20, and also a lot of utilities as well. The cartridge itself, the casing, was made from recycled Vic-20 cartridges. And also includes a reset button for your Vic-20 as well. I'll be testing the AMIGA cart on this Vic-20 that I got from that exact same unboxing video. If you love Vic-20, if you love Commodore computers, check out that video. I'll put in the link in the description down below. Did you notice anything about these keys? This is the old PET style keyboard for the Commodore Vic-20. This Vic-20 even has the plastic still on the Commodore Vic-20 logo. And these keys are a lot more squarer than the later Vic-20s and Commodore 64 keys. On the side here, we've got the normal joystick port and power switch, and also the two-prong. Whoa, now that's really tight. Obviously this hasn't been used for some time because that's pretty much seized up. Oh no, okay, that's okay. Just obviously the first time it's a bit tight. It has a two-prong power supply plug as well, and a standard back for the Commodore Vic-20. But that's enough about this beautiful Vic-20. Let's get that AMIGA cart plugged in. And at the end of this video, we'll look at the hidden Easter eggs that are on this cartridge as well. So stick around to check out those at the end of this video. You could say that the AMIGA cart project was based on a concept that originated with discussions that were held by Denial members at the WOC, that is the World of Commodore show in 2006. Just as I'm plugging this in, you might notice there's a little bit of stuff on my cable, for my power cable. As I showed in the unboxing video, chemicals in the power cable ate into the polystyrene of the packaging of the Vic-20. This is more evident on the other part of the power cable. You can see it's quite glossy and it's just chewed into the polystyrene. That's why we shouldn't wrap the cables around our precious Commodore computers if we're storing them. You see this old power supply unit? It's 11 volts, but I'm quite sure it's actually only a 9 volt power supply unit, because I'm quite sure this Vic-20 runs on 9 volts. Correct me if I'm wrong. I actually turned this on and there was no picture, and I realized I hadn't actually plugged the monitor into the Vic-20. So let's try again. I haven't actually used this Vic-20 yet since the unboxing video, so this is a bit of a trial and error. Let's see if it works. I can't wait to use this beautiful looking keyboard as well. Okay, the screen's come on, so let's look at this cartridge now. The menu is joystick driven, and straight away we have the cartridge games, so we'll look into that. So if you want to scroll through the cartridge games, you can just use the joystick to scroll down, and there's 179 cartridge games on this cartridge. If you want to go to the next screen, you just push F7 to page down and F5 to page up. That's just huge, isn't it? That's a huge collection of Vic-20 games all in one place. There's also menu music as well, but because I'm doing a voiceover, when I was actually using this cartridge and doing this videotaping, I was coughing so much that I couldn't really use any of that material. So I've been cutting and pasting this voiceover, but in theory, yes, there is music, and you can actually change that music to 8 different tunes as well on this cartridge. So there's quite a few games here. Is any there that are your favorites? Let me know in the comments below what your favorite Vic-20 game of all time is. And here's a list of all the Vic-20 games on this cartridge. See if there's any of your favorites here. To say that this cartridge is feature packed would be an understatement. When you're in the cartridge menu, if you push the control button, it'll choose a random game for you. If you press F2, it shows your favorites, and to actually save different games as your favorites, all you need to do is scroll down and press the Commodore key to highlight it and also save it as your favorite. And you can further customize your AMIGA cart so that it starts automatically on the cartridge sub-menu. And to do this, all you need to do is hold down the 1 key when you press the restart button or when you turn your computer on. And this starts up into this cartridge menu. And between the keys 1 and 6, when you do a reset, it'll do different features on your cartridge. And as a side point, if you press the control button and push reset on your cartridge, it'll start up into a service menu as well. You can further customize your categories by listing them as publishers or by listing as game category. As for example, you can list your games as shoot 'em ups, adventure, maze, and so forth. Or you can list your games under PAL or NTSC or both. You can list your games or have your games sorted by arcade mode, if it uses paddles, or if there's just your favorites you want to have listed on your screen. Another feature I really like about this cartridge is you can have it, when you restart your cartridge or your computer, the game that you last played automatically comes up on the screen. And I think that's a pretty cool feature. As we're going through this list, you realize there's a lot of games on this cartridge, but it's not just limited to these 179 games of cartridge games. There's also 50 tape and disc games on this cartridge, but also, as I mentioned at the start of the video, there's also hidden Easter eggs. These Easter eggs are hidden games on this cartridge, which we'll show at the end of this video. So I don't think anyone can deny this is absolutely packed full of games. But let's just quickly try out one or two games just to make sure they do work. And to choose a game, all you need to do is use your joystick to scroll down to what a game you want, or if you want to go to the next screen, just press that S7 button to scroll down to the next screen. When you choose your game, all you need to do is press the fire button to select it, and it loads straight away. Because these are cartridge games, they are instant loading. So I've chosen Defender, a bit of a classic game. Everyone's probably played it before, and obviously it's working fine. As long as it, yep, okay, that's great. Alright, go to the next game. Okay, I'm going to try out Scramble. I remember playing this game years ago, back in the early 80s. Great game, a lot of fun. And yeah, this works fine. Okay, it really shows that this cartridge obviously has 179 cartridge games, but they obviously do work as well. So let's go on to the tape and disc games. So there's 50 different tapes and disc games here on this cartridge. You may recognize some of these games already. And the same principle applies. You can scroll with your joystick or go down to the next page using your F7 key. So here's the full list of tape and disc games on this cartridge. Again, see if there's any classics that you love. Comment in the comments below if there's any games there that you really enjoyed playing back in the 1980s or right now. And during the lifespan of the AMIGA cart, these games actually fluctuated a bit. Depending on the revision you had, you may or may not have had all of these games. You may have had slightly different games as well. A good example of that is Invaders. That was only on the AMIGA cart until revision 20. Another example is Realms of the Quest. That was only on the AMIGA cart until revision 19. So this list is not definitive, but it gives you an idea of the games that were, in theory, on the AMIGA cart. Some of the games also gave you the ability to save the high score, like Tetris, for example. But AMIGA cart offered more than just games. It also offered a great list of utilities as well. And this can be found under your menu, under the Utilities submenu. Now the great thing about these utilities is that you could use 2, maybe 3 different utilities simultaneously as well. For example, if you wanted to use the Programmer's Aid and the Super Expander utilities simultaneously, and also have Hesmon and Disk utility active, just as long as they don't use the same memory location, you are fine. Now, for example, you couldn't have Hesmon and also the Basic 4 operating at the same time because they both use the same memory location. But otherwise, if they didn't clash, you could use multiple utilities at the same time or simultaneously. Under the normal reset option in the menu is all your Vic-20 expansion packs or RAM expansions. So you can have your Vic-20 start up with any of these configurations. In the unboxing video of the 4 massive boxes of Vic-20 items, if you haven't seen it already, there was a number of, actually quite a lot, of these expansion packs in those boxes. Yeah, those boxes were a true treasure trove of Commodore Vic-20 items, including, of course, this Commodore Vic-20 I'm using right now, but also some really nice 1540 disk drives as well. And one of those was pretty special, but that's in the next video. Okay, so that works perfectly. Alright, so that's another utility or another feature that this amazing AMIGA cart has. The next on the selection is the last selection. So you can use this to go into the last game or last feature you're using. In this case, of course, it was just that RAM expansion. The next two options are the disk utility and the easy load options. We won't go into any detail with those, but what we want to do is look at the next option, which is pressing F2 to get into the extras menu. Let's check this one out. So we're back on the main menu. You can see down the bottom there, next to F1 is help, F2 is extra options. Press that, and you're rewarded with some demos and some pictures and some tunes for the Vic-20 as well. We'll have a quick look at one of the demos. This cartridge just keeps on giving, doesn't it? Let's see, what can we choose? We can choose, okay, we'll choose this one here. I won't play the whole demo because obviously I'm recording this without any sound because of, as I mentioned, when I originally filmed this, I was coughing so much because I've got this nasty cold or whatever it might be. So this demo doesn't have any audio right now. Sorry about this. I only play this for a couple seconds just to show you the demo quality. It has a pretty good glitch sort of feature there on the demo. I must admit, demos are definitely better when there's audio playing as well. It makes a big difference. But, you know, that gives a bit of an idea what that demo looks like. And maybe on a different video, I can play those demos in full. Alright, so the next thing, this is the thing we've probably been waiting for, is the Easter eggs on this cartridge. And these are all found in this extras menu. So under this menu, press U, the letter U, and it comes up with the game Ultima Escape from Mount Drash. And this is a pretty cool feature of this cartridge. The makers of this cartridge putting these Easter eggs or these hidden games onto this cartridge. This is the first one, so that's by pressing the letter U, and it comes up with this game. And there's actually a couple others on this cartridge as well, which I'll show you in a few seconds. Now, I played around with this for a couple of minutes, and it's actually quite a good maze game. I quite enjoyed it, actually. The idea, of course, is to get through the maze, get to that flashing exit up top, while this trying to avoid the monster that's trying to get to you. I think it's a monster. It's actually quite good. I quite enjoyed it. But we'll go on to the next one anyway. So under the extras menu again, this time you want to press T, the letter T, and it comes up with tank versus UFO. I must admit, it took me a while to work out which buttons to push, but at the top of the screen it actually shows you exactly what buttons to push. That's how unobservant I was. So it's a very basic game, but hey, it's a freebie. So back into the extras menu. Now this time we want to press K, the letter K, and that'll get us to Killer Comet. There's also another hidden feature on this every cartridge. It's to do with your serial number, but I could not work out and I could not find any information online about how to use that hidden feature. So if you do know, let me know in the comments below. Hey, thank you for watching this video on the AMIGA card for the Commodore Vic-20. Sorry about the croaky voice. Hopefully I'll get over this flu over the next couple of days or weeks. If you're sick, if you're at home right now, take care. Spend some time watching my other videos. Hopefully they won't bore you too much, and hopefully you enjoy them. If you love Commodore computers as much as I do, I'm sure you will. Okay, I'll see you next time.